Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and start building your wealth.
Now tonight, so I'll go ahead and start here. We'll get things going. Olivier, and it's Nevelec is his last name. I met through Jessica Martin, Jess on the team. Thanks, Jess, for that. And his mother is instrumental in EXP, very instrumental, in fact, in getting France to be up and running as far as a country where EXP operates. So in any case, what was interesting is our group, of course, is the Global Investor Agent Group, and we serve clients all around the world, mostly buying here or selling here, although we have had to have transactions in other, foreign countries. So Olivier in his sphere and his mother's sphere, he, SPH or sphere, not like their peer or anything, but is international. So like ours, and probably much more international. So in any case, I had Olivier on the podcast that just came out and did an excellent job. So I think you guys are going to really like what he's going to show you tonight. And let's start off with a question here. If you could type in your chat box, have you ever thought about working with people, foreigners, people from foreign countries, and or would you like to be able to work with clients in foreign countries? I personally, the answer is definitely yes for me. Because once you try it, you realize that it's not that much more difficult, and it really broadens the scope of your business and really helps you grow your business in a much bigger way. So let me know in the chat box what your feelings are about working with people from other countries, mostly buying and selling here. I'd appreciate that. In any case, without further ado, we're going to introduce Olivier. So Olivia, if you want to go ahead and take over the microphone, I'll man the chat box. And do you want me to post questions to you as they come in, or would you wait to certain stopping points typically?
Yeah, the best thing is just, I'll go ahead and do like a 30-minute kind of overview, and then after that, we'll just open the questions, and
Sure.
we'll make sure to answer all of the questions. But thank you so much for inviting me, Gary. I'm excited to do this Zoom here with you today. So we are called Global Marketing Agent. My mother, as Gary mentioned, brought the broker for EXP France. I'm an EXP agent as well. Now been for I think like 7 or 8 years. It's been quite a while, but glad to see the company growing in different countries, and this will make a lot of sense for all of you here on the call and those of you listening to the call if you were not able to participate today. So we created this concept back in 2006, so it's been over 20 years. We've trained over 10,000 real estate agents all over the world. I've been vetted by every brokerage you can think of. We used to be on Remax University for a very long time. I've created a lot of different partnerships with different brokerages. And what I'm going to share with you today is very unique in a lot of ways. It's very different. I know that it's global, it's international, but to me, it really starts locally. It starts with your sphere of influence, without adding any extra work for you to go and find clients that are wanting to buy or sell, and I did buy or sell anywhere around the world. And with that comment, I'm going to reference Article 11 of the Code of Ethics of NAR. I'm going to paraphrase this for you, but you can do real estate anywhere around the world, even if your license is in Texas or Florida, California. The only thing you have to do is create a legal partnership between you and the licensee where the property is located. Okay. And so I'm gonna kind of lead into that, and then as this presentation goes on, you'll see what I mean by that. This you'll see on locally. This gives you a very distinct competitive edge. To me, also, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've trained agents from different brokerages. When if I were to be a fly on the wall and I listen to a listing presentation locally, that it's from one brokerage to the other, one agent to the other. To me, they all sound the same. At the end of the day, now a lot of people are, differentiate themselves with how many followers they have on social media or their YouTube channel. And then also then you've got, believe it or not, you got all these big global brands, obviously EXP, Coldwell Banker, Remax, Keller Williams. And a lot of these agents, they think, oh, I'm with a global brand, so I'm a global agent. Well, as you will see, it doesn't make you that, okay? And I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about that. So retain your clients for life. This is so important. I think that a lot of you here, I know that you've experienced this already. I know that you have clients currently in your sphere of influence that have bought real estate outside of where you are locally today. And they didn't call you. They went on the internet, they did their research, and then they called the agent of the property that they were interested in, that it's in the Bahamas, that's in Utah, that it's in Colorado, wherever that may be. And that's a big problem for you because you're losing referral business. And I always tell agents, and again, this is from surveys that we've done over the last 20 years with thousands and thousands of agents. I always tell agents you lose about 3 to 5 referral deals on a yearly basis without you knowing it. It's you going to the grocery store tomorrow. You see one of your clients, and then they're going to start bragging about the property they just bought in Cabo San Lucas or in Breckenridge. And in the back of your mind, you're going to think, why would you tell me that? And why did you not call me for a referral? Well, the problem is that they know you as the local specialist, not the global specialist. And that is a problem for you. And so I'm going to share with you some ways that you can increase referrals, which at the end of the day make more money. So we've been around for 20 years. Like I said, it's really to what I call become a true global agent. Okay. And I always tell this to people. If I work for NASA, it does not make me an astronaut. Okay. And so this is the same thing with you being in a global company. Fantastic. But how are you using that to your advantage? And we'll talk about that. So global real estate has been booming for a long time. And I mean, that's residential, that's commercial. On the residential side of it, now you see a lot of Americans are actually buying in Portugal, in Spain, in Italy, in France, Panama, Costa Rica, Belize. These are some of the hot spots. And the biggest reason why Americans are leaving, aside from political, because I'm not gonna, that's not what this is about, is the number one thing is about healthcare. The healthcare system in other countries, as soon as you buy property of a certain price, you get a visa. Okay, you get to be a permanent resident of that country. That status gives you access to the healthcare. And as you know, healthcare in different countries is very different than it is here in America. I will tell you this as well, also from experience. Do not believe everything you read or everything you see on Instagram. The healthcare is fine in other countries. Yes, it's free. I know that it's very different, but a lot of Americans are buying in these countries. You wouldn't believe it. And yes, the second one is the lifestyle. The food is better, believe it or not. Our FDA over there is a lot stricter than it is here. If you've ever been to Europe, and you've had ketchup, as simple as that, you will notice that the ketchup tastes different. There's far more sugar in the ketchup in America. In other countries, it's not allowed. So very, very different. And here, 95% of agents have no strategy to capture global referrals. After this presentation today, I promise you that this will change the way you market yourself to your sphere of influence. I guarantee it. You will no longer lose referrals after this presentation. I promise you, if you do this on a consistent basis, just the way I'm going to show you, it will change the way you make more money in this business. And so I'm going to show you on how to create a global portfolio. And here's the keyword, legally. I'm going to say it again, legally. A lot of agents do this illegally on their social media platforms, on Facebook and LinkedIn. They take listings without permission from the seller, without permission from the listing agent to promote on their own websites. Ladies and gentlemen, that is illegal. If you have ever done that, stop. That is a liability for your brokerage. Okay. You have to do this legally. And so we have all of the agreements. We've got 6 global marketing agreements. Like I mentioned earlier, they've been vetted, they've been studied and in and out. And so these are a trademark copyrighted. They're as solid as it can be for you. And I will show you this on how within minutes you can now have listings anywhere around the world legally. Migration intelligence. This is a big one. Here's a free AI called Prompt Cowboy. Prompt Cowboy. If you don't know it, use it. It's free, or there's a paying version, which I believe is $11. Prompt Cowboy is going to create the best prompts you've ever used on Chat, Gemini, and Claude. Because the prompts that we put in, ourselves is very basic. It's very generic. Prompt Cowboy will do the work for you in creating these amazing prompts that are going to provide you what I call real estate migration patterns. Real estate migration patterns. You can actually go on Prompt Cowboy, do some data research, and find out who buys real estate in your zip code. It will tell you where are the buyers coming from. And that is half of the equation. And I will show you the other half on how you're going to now create an unbeatable value proposition on your next listing presentation with real estate migration pattern and what we call a co-marketing system. Not co-listing, co-marketing. Luxury and expired markets, those two are my favorite to do. If I move to a new state tomorrow and I know no one in that city or in that state, I would go in the MLS of that city and I would look at every expired above, let's say, $2 million all the way up to $20, $30 million. And I would target them and I will show you a true testimonial from an agent who just did this in Houston and got a $3.5 million listing. And I'll show you on how that looks, how it sounds, and how you can do the same thing. Seamless global deals. Yes, one day, once you do this consistently, you will get a call. And I'll pick on Peter here. Peter will get a call one day and one of his clients will say, Peter, I've been seeing all these wonderful listings you've been marketing on your LinkedIn. Very impressive. And we have a family home in London, England. We have a relationship with you. We've known you for 10 years. Can you take the listing? And Peter will say, yes, I can. And Peter does not need to be licensed in London, England. And I will show you on how that works. And here, obviously, we work to make money, right? So why not make the most out of it? So our training is all done online. It's about 3 hours. It's not rocket science. It's mostly about the agreements for you to understand the relationship that's going to happen between you and your sellers, you and your clients, on how you're dealing with referrals, on how you're doing with a buyer that wants to go buy somewhere, and what we call a buyer's representation agreement, not like a referral agreement that you would do between point A to point B, which, by the way, you are giving your client away to the other agent. Why would you do that? Number one, it's your client, not theirs. And so we have all the agreements for you to do this, but the first thing you need to do is go on your social media. We'll teach you on how to do this, is make announcements. And these announcements are going to create great content that is going to get your clients motivated in asking you more questions. This is a big one here. You have to be educating your sphere of influence for them to think of Peter, you as a brand that locally or globally, you are going to hold their hand wherever they want to buy or sell. If you don't do that, then that's a problem. Because again, you're losing a lot of referrals. So this is an example of a postcard that I used to do myself, and I share everything I do with agents. And this is an agent. believe she's with, oh, yeah, she's with the EXP. And so she's in the Houston area. And so she went after expireds. And hear me out when I say this. Expireds do not want to hear the same listing presentation that was offered to them 6 months or a year ago. They want to hear something different. If you sound the same, you're just like everyone else. And so on the next slide, I'm going to teach you about how to sound different. Not speaking another language, but speaking another marketing language, about the co-marketing and how you can go again get buyers anywhere around the world. This is an example of a post that agents do on their social media platform. So now we have a brand new platform. It's amazing. I see that there's Gene here on the call. Gene used to be a GMA member a long time ago, but Gene, we have redone everything from A to Z. Now, this platform, you can go on there. There's what's called the GMA Co-Marketing Library. You want a listing in, I don't know, Spain, Italy, Canada, LA, wherever. You go in the library, you make a request, that request goes directly to the listing agent, and instantly you will receive the agreements for you to sign via a DocuSign like document in your email. Once you've signed these documents, then now you have access to all of the pictures, you have access to the bio, and then this is where you start your marketing. You will copy and paste the detail because, again, you're not licensed in another country or another state. So you have to rely on what the listing agent is giving you. And as you can see here, this is an agent of ours. She's a Compass agent in Florida. This is actually a listing of mine that I had. It was a great little chateau in Bordeaux area. It was great for weddings and things like that, Airbnbs. And so she copied the information I gave her. The thing she put, contact me today for more information on this unique property and for pricing. She put a lot of hashtags on it, took 3 to 5 pictures, and then you do this on your social media every week. Not every day, it's too much. Every week, once a week. And I promise you, the reactions and the content that you're going to create from this will blow your mind. People are going to start asking you a lot of questions. Hey, Peter, I didn't know you were licensed in France. How did you take this listing in France? I didn't know you spoke French. And hey, Peter, my husband and I were in France last month. We were wondering on how to buy real estate in France. Can you help us? And that is how you create leads for global opportunity. And like I told you at the beginning of this, it is going to shock you. The day that you start making posts on your social media, like I'm going to give you essentially asking your clients who owns real estate outside of your jurisdiction, you're going to see your neighbors. You're going to see even some of your family members who are going to tell you, oh yeah, Peter, we bought a home in Belize about 2 years ago. We never told you because, you're too busy locally. And this is where it will shock you. So many of your friends and family and clients do have real estate outside of where you live. I promise you. And if it's not yet, they will, because now what you have coming, it's called the silver tsunami. And the silver tsunami, it's the baby boomers, and they are buying everything outside. I'm telling you, I just sold a $10 million home in Costa Rica about a month ago. And I called the developer and I said, listen, give me the percentage of buyers coming to you in Costa Rica without any representation from their real estate agent in America. And he told me about 97% of the buyers come in, knock on the door. Hi, Mr. Developer, I'm here to buy. Not even a realtor holding their hand. So hear me out. I hope you hear me very, very loud and clear on this. You've got to come up with a strategy to stop losing referrals. Here's the slide of the day. This is the whole thing here. So my mother and I used to sell really high-end real estate all over the world. I mean, a castle in Scotland, in South Africa, in the Caribbean islands, Mexico, south of France, you name it. Yes, we are licensed here in Dallas, Texas. I'm not licensed in Scotland. I'm not licensed in the Caribbean island, but I have clients all over the world. And now with social media, I'm able to connect and reconnect with these clients extremely easy. And so my database is all over the world. I don't look at my Dallas market as my limit. I do real estate across the board, real estate without borders, without boundaries, whatever you want to call it. I am not making money from a pond. I am making it from the ocean. So my question to you all the time, why are you only making money locally when you can now do it globally? So think about that. So here is the key. Co-marketing is the best and most effective way to market your properties. And so your next listing presentation will sound a little bit like this. Mr. Seller, thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to show you an a la carte service. Option A is everything local. Everything I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do my website. I'm going to do open houses. I'm going to do exprealty.com. I'm going to do everything and anything, my social media platforms. And I have an option B. I'm not going to talk about commission structures because I don't want to confuse you, but you can get creative with that. And option B, Mr. Seller, is I have the ability through this network that I'm a part of. It's called Global Marketing Agent, been around for 20 years. And I have the ability through the research that I just did from AI about real estate migration patterns. I now know that the buyers for this area where we live in today are coming from XYZ, maybe California, wherever you are now, you can find out where the buyers are from. That's coming from. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now, Mr. Seller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire real estate agents, part of the network, wherever it makes sense to promote and market your property. And these agents are going to become what we call co-marketing agents. How many co-marketing agents can you have on your listing? The answer is unlimited. So my question to you is, why are you the only agent doing all of the work to market, promote, and advertise your listing when now you can create your own army of agents wherever in the world it makes sense? And as soon as you put the property on the GMA network and a GMA member request your property to be co-marketed, you will get an instant email. That email will say, hey, congratulations, Peter, Olivier Mavelas, Dallas, Texas, phone number, email address is co-marketing your property. And you, as the listing agent, you're going to drop everything that you're doing and you're going to call your seller. And you're going to go, Mr. Seller, I've got great news for you. I told you I'm part of this GMA network. We have this agent. His name is Olivier Mavelec. He's an agent in Dallas, and he is going to co-market your property in the Dallas area and so on and so forth. And so this, again, you're going to get a lot of emails from a lot of agents who want to co-market your property, because you have to hear me out on this. GMA agents will market your property even if they don't find the buyer. Because when you give them the opportunity to co-market your property in their local area, you have given them a golden nugget, because they're going to use that listing and they're going to showcase it to everyone around them and say, hey, look at me. I am different than every other agent here in Boise, Idaho, or in wherever you are, because I have a global real estate portfolio. On top of that, with your EXP Global, explaining to them 24 countries or 27, I forget the number. This is a way for you to, again, create what I call proactive marketing. Okay? Don't react. You need to be very proactive with this. And so the global marketing agent is extremely important. On this slide, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Earlier, I told you about the Peter example of he's got a client now. They have a home in London, England. They want Peter to list it. We have all of the agreements between Peter, the agent, and the seller in London. Pretty much the same agreement as a listing agreement that you have in your state, establishing all everything from A to Z. Every single thing. And then from there, we have another agreement, which is the key on how to do this legally. It's called a co-brokerage agreement. Not a co-listing, but a co-brokerage agreement. That agreement will go between Peter and the agent in London, England, who's going to be Peter's eyes and ears, and the one taking the pictures and doing the tours and doing the paperwork of London, England. Peter is not going to go to London, England. He's not going to go over there and get licensed, but he is going to use his network globally to again take listings all over the world without being licensed in other countries. Here are a few countries where I would not go in. I would not go into Venezuela too early. Don't do Cuba, don't do North Korea, don't do China, and don't do Russia. Aside from that, let's go for it. Wherever you want to go, we will show you on how to do this. We are not a referral company. This is your business. This is your commissions. We're just here to help you and teach you on how to do this. I am almost done. We also have a magazine. It's called Castles and Estates Magazine. This is a digital version. When you become a member, page 2 of this magazine becomes your page. It's got your picture, it's got your phone number, it's got your email, and all of the listings in the magazine will not have the names of the listing agents of that listing. It will have a little logo on it that says, for more information or pricing, please contact the agent on page 2. You will be the agent on page 2. We just have an agent that used this magazine and sold a $7 million home because he puts this link everywhere: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and he just does it constantly. And kind of look at this as a virtual open house, okay? Not your listings, but you are using them to, just like if you were in an open house. When you got in this business, you didn't have a listing. You probably used an open house of another agent in your brokerage who had that listing, and you walked into, to the house and you acted like it was your listing. And this is the same thing. So here, if you want a copy of the magazine, I'll send it to you. It's a link, like I said. We have some school communities. If you're not familiar with school, it's awesome. SKOOL. There's a group. It's got about 1,000 agents in there. I've got 500 more agents coming up next week. I've got partnerships with Remax Central America, Remax Caribbean, Remax Europe, Real. I've got tons and tons of companies that I do a lot of work with, independents, and then also big brokerages. So I invite you to join our school. It's free. I share a lot of great things in there that you can copy and paste, and I give you the authorization to go and paste them on your social media, and then kind of see the reactions that you get from your sphere of influence. So that's pretty much the whole system. I know it's a lot, but like I said, if you want to send us an email and I can give you more information, please reach out, info@globalmarketingagent.com. So now what I want to do is I will take some time to answer any of your questions if there are some.
Want to learn what's working right now in real estate? Then don't miss Monday Night Live, happening every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Each week, we bring you expert training on real estate investing, agent attraction, lead generation, marketing, and AI-powered strategies to help you work smarter and scale faster. You'll also hear inspiring success stories and lessons learned from some of the most successful real estate leaders and investors in the industry. Whether you're a brand new agent, a seasoned investor, or building a high-performing team, there's something valuable for you every single week. Learn, network, grow. Registration is completely free. Simply visit globalinvestoragent.com to reserve your seat for an upcoming Monday Night Live session. Join us this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and discover strategies you can put to work right away. We can't wait to see you there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start. So, I like, for me personally, I have contacts in a number of countries. Partly it's because I've lived in 3 countries and born in a foreign country. My dad was a diplomat here for the U.S. for a lot of years. But in any case, a lot of them want to buy and sell here. But the thing I like about this, if I understand it correctly, we can also participate in transactions in their countries as well, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that is huge benefit. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's there are a lot of groups on LinkedIn and Facebook that you can join, but now you're going to join them with a purpose, and that's the key. It's kind of like I obviously this is all EXP people, so I'll be I know it's recorded, so I'll have to be cautious on this, but I will tell you this: this is a fantastic recruiting tool, because when you talk to someone, you're not talking to them about joining EXP. You're talking to them about co-marketing their property. And that's how you build a relationship in a very non-threatening way. And as Gary said, we've my mother brought the broker for France. Now there's over 800 agents in France. I do this all the time in France. I will call an agent that is not with EXP that's got a beautiful listing. I'll reach out, say, hey, I want to co-market your property. I have all the agreements. We'll go back and forth. And then, a couple of weeks after, once we're building the relationship, then I kind of going into, hey, have you heard about EXP? I know it's a new company in France. Have you heard of it? And it kills. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very easy to do so. So that's the other side of the business opportunity that EXP offers us is that part. And so GMA is a great conversation starter. And to answer Gary's question again, it's yes, you can now buy or sell anywhere around the world. And so, you know, join a lot of these Facebook groups that I will tell you about expats. And you'll have a lot of people in these groups that, you'll go into that group posting a listing. Let's say if it's a group about, I don't know, French real estate or Panama real estate, Costa Rica real estate, go in that group with the listing that you're co-marketing in Costa Rica or in Panama or in France. And you'll see the conversation will flow really easy. And then next thing you know, I mean, that's how I found that $10 million buyer on Facebook. I didn't put an ad in Rob Report or DuPont or Unique Homes. No, I went on Facebook. Everything I'm telling you is what I do on a daily and a weekly basis. And I've been doing this for 26 years. And so it works. It's not rocket science, but here is the key. This is just like anything in life. Do not buy the treadmill if you don't want to get on it. Okay.
Mhm.
This is very important. And this is the problem with real estate sometimes. You want all the tools, but at the end of the day, if you're not using them, what's the point? So, be very cautious on that. I did see a question in there. Sorry, chat. I'm going to go there.
Mhm.
How do you go about getting co-brokerage agreement from Jeff Davis? Okay, good question. So, Jeff, this is for the when you take the training, those are the 6 agreements that you will have full access to. They're in the area of the dashboard of the website that we call resources. And as soon as you are a member, then obviously you have access to all of the agreements. And of course, during the training videos and then during the test that you're going to take at the end of the training videos, you're going to understand the difference and the differences between each agreement and what each agreement is made for, if that makes sense. So that's where you would have access to the agreement. Robin, opening to broadening. Yeah, okay. Any other
Okay.
questions?
Well, I see, Jess is on, and that I wanted to give her credit for inviting into the class here. But, she's looking at launching, Jamaica. She and her husband. And this is everything fits together like a glove when you figure what you're doing, what we're doing on our team. We're alike in the fact that we have clients all over North America and some in other foreign countries too. Um, but Jess is doing that, and then Peter Brown's on. So Peter, good to see you in class, man. And then we're going to have you on the podcast also coming up and teaching a Monday Night Live segment. But so Peter, can you see this? Can you see yourself using this also? I mean, like our team is one thing because it's like we're a broad network of agents across the U.S. But Olivier's got contacts in multiple countries, and I'm not sure with the homes you're building. Do you have your sites on other countries as well, other than Panama in the U.S.?
That's a great question. I mean, I'm embedded in Panama, as you know.
Mhm.
So I'm more targeted towards off-market kind of exclusive opportunities because in terms of scalability and not cross-promoting. I'm actually on the your GMA site now, Olivier, and I've been there before. It looks great. But a lot of these properties I see are being cross-promoted because they're some of the bigger developers, which is fine. But in terms of my value and what I know and the people I know here, I'm trying to bring something that maybe the market doesn't know about. And that's kind of how I view my leverage in the market. So I don't know if you've had those conversations with other agents. So I'm just curious to see how you would look at that, because we do have, like, for example, there's a lot of guys who own land that they don't
Mhm.
want to list it per se, but they'll let us list it in this manner.
Yeah,
Which is
I know, I get it.
kind of a weird thing to say, but it's like Panama, there is no MLS. It's an enigma, right?
Hmm.
So it's just, there's developers you could trust and there's everyone else.
Yeah,
So I know that there's no trust factor, because if someone knows the seller, they could just, there's nothing you could do about it. It is what it is. So
yeah,
that's one issue that I see where I am. But I think having these direct relationships with the owners, that's where I see leverage. And some of these are, not mega developments, but it could be 100 units, it could be 50. We have, some very niche, like a senior living
yeah.
structure. So that's how I'm viewing, this from my lens in terms of being here on the ground and learning the market.
Y- Yeah, I'd love to talk to you more about that, just one-on-one, actually, because all I do now is work with developers, because, like you said, I'm not selling one unit, I'm selling hundreds of units,
Okay.
and they love the co-marketing, and a great word that you used, and I love that word, is the leverage situation, because you see, the problem is the reason, and I'm sure that everyone on this call knows this, but the only countries in the world really where you need to be licensed to be a real estate agent is North America. It's the US and Canada. In any other countries, well, Panama now is getting a little bit stricter on that, because everyone and their sisters would get, want to sell. It's like if you go to Costa Rica and you get in a cab, to go to your hotel room, the cab driver will try to sell you real estate, and that's no joke. In a lot of these countries, as you know, as well as what Peter is saying, and that's the GMA leverage part, is a lot of these developers and landowners are not giving exclusivities at all, and so everyone can have the listing. You've got sometimes 5 or 6, 7 different brokerages, without, like Peter said, the confidence that, if you bring someone to the table, you're going to get compensated for that. And the GMA value proposition, when you explain that correctly to the seller or to the developer, that's where you're able to get exclusivities, Peter. And I mean, France is the same thing. I take a lot of listings in France, and most of the listings in France, I would say about 90% of them are non-exclusive. And I don't do non-exclusives. And when I explain that to the seller on what we do with GMA and how we do it and how it works from point A to point B and so on and so forth, most of the sellers will give you the exclusivity, Peter. And that's where your leverage comes in with the power of GMA. And I've got two great agents that I need to connect you with right away. Sandra Otero, she does a lot with in Panama, and then another agent who we have is in Panama as well and is on the ground doing a lot of work. So I'll connect you with both of them as well to start conversations. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is where you'll see, like, just opportunities coming in. If you go on your LinkedIn, on your About Me section in your LinkedIn, and if you become a GMA, make sure to start adding like a lot of words like, global, and I work with developers and so on. And I get a lot of developers reaching out to me through LinkedIn just because of my About Me section. Okay. Very important in that. So there's a lot of tricks that you will learn from this network. It has changed and evolved quite a bit over the last few years because of technology. This is something we started when I always laugh at this, but we were faxing everything. There was no social media. Knocking on doors was the thing to do, postcards, the whole thing. Now, I mean, social media, it's insane. So yeah, Peter, let's try to connect you and I, and I'd love to know more on your approach and then your expectations on what you're trying to do.
That'd be great. And one other brief thing, we're also tied in with a large Orlando-based real estate marketing firm. I can't say the name because there's still some details working out, but I also would love to get your input and everyone in the group, actually, because they do a lot of marketing in the, say, Walt Disney World, Orlando hotel space. Massive, like, they have kiosks in each place, so they have a significant presence to refer potential real estate buyers or investors, Panama globally, but we're going to have a kind of cohesive relationship. So it'll be more of a referral partnership potentially. And it's Panama or wherever else. So that's another way maybe I could contribute, to the network in a
Yeah.
different capacity. But these are organic relationships through, like, my reason why I'm in Panama is a good friend of mine of 15 years. He's actually very good friends with the guy who owns this giant Orlando entity thing. So this is a very close niche
Yeah.
relationship, not just the, arm's length kind of thing. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of concept, it opens doors to everything. I mean, from hotels, I mean, from everything and anything. The only thing I wouldn't kind of get into is the fractional ownership. Condo hotels is fine, but fractional, not so. Timeshare, definitely don't do it. People always think that's real estate. That's not real estate. You're just buying time. But that's the great thing about this group is that we're all very connected. There's things that you can do right now with attorneys within your own cities, tax attorneys and all this, and start, making some relationships with these people who have access. But like I always tell people, don't quit what you're doing. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing on your daily basis on your local business. That's crucial. But if every day or every week you put 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there and you just start something new, it brings in opportunities. Don't stay stuck, because that's the problem with a lot of people. They just kind of they try everything, they get discouraged, and then they just kind of give up. And this is what's great about this group. Every 2 weeks, kind of like the same thing with you're doing with Gary here, is we do Zooms where you get to meet face-to-face people, other members who are in Portugal and in Spain and in wherever in the world. And so you're able to create relationships with them face-to-face, and then just do business with them. So
Yeah, I have a question for you, Olivia. When it comes to working with agents in other countries, it's not like we have to really become familiar with all the laws, but is there a certain other countries that are easier to work with than others that you can think of? And does it help for us to understand more about their real estate customs or customs when it comes to real estate transactions?
yeah, great question. So every 2 weeks within these calls, what we do is we ask agents who are from, Panama or Italy, France, Portugal, England, wherever, to do a 45-minute presentation for the whole GMA group and talk about everything: visas, taxes, healthcare, real estate prices. I mean, just everything and anything. And we have everything recorded. We've got a library of recorded, on how to buy real estate in a lot of different countries. And so, as a new member, I always tell people, like, take the time, take a couple hours one weekend and just kind of go through some of these recordings for you to, kind of get educated. But you're right. There's no way you can know everything about, every country in the world. There are some that you definitely, I would kind of try to just read on. It's obviously Mexico, because a ton of Americans go there. The Caribbean islands are coming back up, like Saint Martin especially. There's a lot of developments in Saint Martin. I don't know if you know about Saint Martin, but there's two sides. There's the Dutch side, there's the French side. Saint Bart's, it's always kind of the elusive one, that's the ultra reach there. But there's a lot of new islands coming up. So Mexico, the Caribbean, Panama, obviously you need to. There's a new retiree program called Pensionado. I forget, Peter may know about it, but it's a very inexpensive program for Americans to have some sort of residency on paper, to where you can, just enjoy all the benefits of Panama. That's big one. Belize, I wouldn't, Belize is scuba divers, a bit, so not a big one unless you know a lot of scuba divers. But then countries like Portugal, France, Spain, and Italy, those four. It's a must. You must know just a little bit, just a little. And like I said, once you're a new member, just kind of go through the library. I'll give you some dates. That way you don't have to look through all the posts, and then just just kind of learn a little bit. You don't have to know everything because at the end of the day, again, Gary, it's
Mhm.
it's the person on the ground that is going to do all the work. You're just providing
Mhm.
clients from here to there.
Yeah. It's interesting. Portugal, Spain,
France and
France,
Italy.
Italy. Those are
Yeah.
It's interesting. I would have thought maybe some from more from UK also, maybe Germany. Germany's where I used to live there too. Um, but I do when I think about it, especially in Florida. Florida, Miami is a very international city. So
Hmm.
is New York, so is Washington D.C., LA to a degree, but like Toronto, Canada, very international. And you will meet more people there. In fact, I've met more people in Miami from the countries you name than probably any other country other than perhaps Cuba, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yes, South America is, it's coming back up. Like El Salvador, it's
mhm,
been, there's been a lot of movement there. We've got actually there's an EXP luxury agent from Boise, Idaho, Carlette. If you ever want to reach out to her, she's doing a ton and ton of business in El Salvador, from Boise, Idaho.
mhm,
She's, her family lives in El Salvador, and then she went in with a GMA. She's an EXP luxury agent. She went in with the GMA, and then her family now on the ground, they're telling all their friends and family about, hey, if you've got a listing, you got to call or Carlette, and she'll do the rest. Um, but yeah, I mean, Brazil, not so much. I think that
mhm,
Brazil is, it's tough, but
yeah,
uh, like Mexico, I mean, there's some places in Mexico. It's not all about the ocean views, by the way. There is a place where I've sold quite a few places. It's in San Miguel de Allende. It's if you've never been there, it's fantastic. It's near Lyon. But yeah,
mm,
it just blows my mind. Your parents and grandparents, and I mean everyone on this call and listening, they're not retiring. People now, the baby boomers do not retire the same way our grandparents retired, if that makes sense. Where our grandparents
yeah,
lived in the same house for 80 years.
yeah,
Now, baby boomers, they want to go and experience different cultures. They want to move around. And then another big thing, it's when you look at a dollar goes in a long ways in a lot of different countries, like Costa Rica and like some of these countries in Central America. And so Canada has been tough because the Canadian government, the new one is, they're not allowing any international people to buy real estate in Canada anymore, which is kind of a political nightmare up there. But if you're from Canada, don't worry about it. In Canada, if you're a Canadian agent on the call or listening to this, I would create your global real estate portfolio and educate the Canadians on why they need to buy in America or why they need to buy in the Caribbean or Mexico. So kind of look at it that way. Don't look at it as trying to bring international money in because they're not opening the doors anymore. But yeah, it's fascinating once you're in this kind of
mhm,
world. So it really is.
yeah. Well, I just like it because it's interesting. Is we're probably like in your opinion, would you say the country, number one, the English speaking countries, and in UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, the rules and the laws are very similar, because it's all based on the same old English law. But
Mhm.
even the other European countries, would you say there were like 90% alike, or maybe we're 70% alike as far as our custom when it comes to real estate? Mhm.
Yeah, well, so in most countries, it's not the agent who does. Here as agents, we do everything. We do the contracts, we do everything from top to bottom. Over there, it's the agent is not doing the work. It's all attorneys, so it's quite different.
Mhm.
Also, the transactions over there are a lot longer. Like here in America and Canada, it's pretty quick. I mean, if you've got a cash offer or if you're ready to go, like I mean, it's done, pretty quick. Over there, it can sometimes take 3 to 6 months. So it's a
Wow.
different process.
Mhm.
And again, once you know that, you have to educate your buyers about being patient. People move differently over there, you know. So there's no MLSs. I know that is a big thing, and people think, oh, there's an MLS in Mexico. No, it's not an MLS. It's just a real estate platform. That's what they have. But you know, GMA did a partnership with a company called GDX, Global Data Exchange.
Okay.
Look it up. Global Data Exchange. They are partnered right now with the Miami MLS, the Toronto MLS, which are the two biggest ones in North America. Partnered with the San Diego MLS, the Stellar MLS, which is in Florida, in Central Florida, I believe. And what they're trying to do, and they're partnered with RESO, RESO. It's the standardized system for MLSs in America, RESO. And so that's
Okay.
what they're trying to do, Global Data Exchange, is to bring data in a more conformed and reliable way. Because a lot of platforms like Propistar, I don't know if you know Propistar, but like so Propistar, James Edition, these are
Hmm.
platforms where you can go and look for real estate. Let's say if a client comes to you and says, Gary, I want to buy in France. So like there are very few platforms, you know, you can go onto. The problem with those platforms is that it's the agent who puts the listing into that platform, meaning that the agent usually 95% of the time forgets to take it back out. So when you're doing the homework, you're sometimes looking at listings that were sold 2 years ago or 6 months ago. And so that's what they're trying to do now with global real estate. As you know asked the question, is this similar? It's very different on the contractual part because that's the attorneys that come in, okay, or what we
Hmm.
call it a notaire in
Hmm.
Europe or a notario in other countries. A notario and a notaire is very different than a public notary like it is here in America. They are actually a government official. So there's no MLSs, so you can't do, you know, CMAs. You can't do a CMA. Like if someone says, okay, is the value of this, it's just very, very different. Um, and so to answer your question, it's different. But again, you as the agent, all you have to do is just hold the hand of your client wherever they are going and just
Hmm.
rely really on the professionalism of the GMA network with the agents who are on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Um, okay, guys, we're gonna run out of time here in about 5 minutes. So if you have questions, I know it's a very unique subject, and some of you may be thinking I don't know anybody in foreign countries, but you'd be surprised at how many people, the people that you know, who they know. So remember, I said this before, when it comes to like landing a big deal, when I first time I was approached about selling a $20 million property, it was, you know, my opinion was way beyond anything I've ever done before. Not even close. I mean, the most expensive thing I probably bought or sold was maybe $500,000 at that point. But my brother-in-law said to me, he said, look, it's not who you know, it's who you know, who they know. So your neighbors that like to travel abroad, you know, I mean, talk to them, get some insight on what country they like to go to, why do they like to go there, and do some research on it. Look up agents, look them up, reach out to them, say, hey, I'd like to partner with you. You know, if we have transactions, would you like to be a partner where somebody here is buying there or somebody there is buying here? I mean, that's just how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be born in a foreign country to be able to do this. So,
No, and that's the thing I'll say is it doesn't matter. I mean, you could be in
mhm,
I don't want to insult anyone, but you could be in Mississippi as an agent.
mhm,
It just doesn't matter where you are today. Like, I mean, now with social media, there are opportunities everywhere. And I mean everywhere. All you have to
mhm,
do is just is looking on Facebook and the amount of groups on there of expats or people asking questions about why should I move to Panama or what's going on in Panama or where should I go? And you going into these groups in a intelligent way, not into my name's Olivia Mavelek. I'm a real estate agent. Here's my phone number. That doesn't go anywhere. Okay. You got to go in there with an agenda. You go in there and you start posting properties that are outside. Here's my new listing in Panama. Here's my new listing in Jamaica. Here's my new listing in France. And I'm
mhm.
telling you, if you do that properly and consistently, um, I'm telling you, even if
Yeah,
it's one extra deal a year, just think one extra deal a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep. And if you're in a state that's benefiting from people coming in from other countries, think about that. Find out where they're from, where they're coming from. You know, I mean, there's and in market on Facebook, you can direct your marketing to say do a post and then promote it in France. So
Hmm.
if you find out that a lot of people in French are buying in Miami, Florida, and you're an agent like Gene Kenskoff's an agent out there, you get a listing. I do a Facebook post and promote it and direct it to Canada. I mean, sorry, to France. You know,
Hmm.
I know a lot of Canadians that move down to Florida that buy properties. They have properties that are in the winter and go back home in Canada in the summer. I mean, that stuff happens. You'd be surprised. In fact, I'm going to give you a statistic here. Of all investor transactions that have been occurring in the United States, 56% are out of state. And that doesn't include just people in other states in the US. It includes people from other countries. And a big portion of them guys are Canadian. All right. I'm telling you, I've lived up there. In in Quebec province, specifically Montreal, the landlords up there can't collect security deposits. It doesn't exist. It's illegal for them to do that. In Toronto, landlords in the wintertime, if you need to evict someone, you can get a judgment. You can't get possession till springtime. And you, the owner, gets the privilege of paying the heating bills until those people move out. It's extremely tough with their competitive states. So they like to buy down here, guys. And they take a 10% hit tax-wise when they do it. And it's still better than investing up there. So 56% of the time, your investor clients are not even buying in their own hometown. They're buying out of state. So keep that in mind. Um, okay. Hey, Livia, would you mind sharing the information again about school? And if you could put,
Uh, yeah, the best thing is I'm gonna write it here. It's send me an email to info at
okay,
global marketing agent.com, and my assistant will send you the school links. She'll send you
okay,
the magazine links as well for you to take a look at what it looks like between the generic and the personalized version. And the
mhm,
last thing on the statistics that you just mentioned, every day, think about this. Every day in the United States and Canada until
mhm,
2030, you have 10,000 baby boomers a day that are retiring.
mhm,
10,000 a day. Okay.
mhm,
If you now start going on these groups about the silver tsunami and baby boomers and Peter was talking about retirement communities and the whole thing, I'm telling you, they spend money, they have money, and you
mhm.
need to really capitalize on that.
Yeah. A lot of them, believe it, this is another statistic. The baby boomers, the ones that are getting in retirement years now, are all inheriting billions and billions of dollars right now from their parents who are in the 80s and 90s and are passing on.
Hmm.
So, and guess where they're buying? They're not always buying in the US. They're buying second home. I mean, ask Peter. I mean, so Peter, do you have any idea how many roughly Americans are buying down in Panama? I mean, I'm sure you can probably spot them. Yeah, because we
I don't have
tend
exact
to stick up.
statistics, but I could tell you this year, in terms of just inbound tourism, it is almost a 2.5 to 3x from the year prior. And I walk the streets here and there's a lot of English being spoken. So it's a, it's, I don't know the exact number, but it's really coming on. So Canada and the US market, they definitely have a foothold here. And there's actually more direct flights from certain areas from Canada and the US market direct to Panama. So that's another telling signal because there's a lot of initiatives to drive tourism. So,
Hmm.
but I could find out
Yeah,
what that percentage is, but it's pretty big.
yeah. Okay. Um, hey, Olivia, any final thoughts or words of wisdom? How about something this is a unique question. How about something you learned from your mom in the world of real estate?
Oof, that's an interesting one. Something I learned from, I've learned so much from my mother, but I think again, it's communication, and understanding and try to understand the other person's culture. There's a great book for you to read on that. It's called Kiss, Bow, or Shake Hands. Kiss,
Okay.
bow, or shake hands. And it teaches you on how to deal business-wise with people from 62 different countries. And it's great because Indians negotiate a certain ways, Asians negotiate a certain ways, European are very different. And so I think from my mother, that was one of the things is try to understand the culture before you start judging, and that will help you in the long run for your business.
Right. I agree 100%. But Bless, did you have a question? A minute slip there. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. If you wouldn't mind, just say thank you to Olivia for teaching us this class,
Yes,
and I highly
thank you very
recommend.
much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Olivia. I
Thank
highly recommend you email them, and we can talk about this more as a group as well. If it's something you're interested in, particularly if you're in a state that's very international. I mean, but Hawaii's, so where's Mark Phillips is in Hawaii, very international state. I mean, my gosh, you got people from all over the world there. Florida, New York, Maryland, Virginia, because of DC, Chicago, right? Illinois, of course, California. And I mean, everywhere in the country now, there's people. I mean, Tennessee, the percentage of the population is growing that's non-American, you know, it's leaps and bounds. You guys, I'll tell you, you probably drive around your town, go grocery shopping on Saturday and make a note of all the different people you see there. Kind of a neat thing, by the way. So, but if you guys could say thank you to Olivia, that would be great.
Yeah.
And then the recording will come out tomorrow, probably by end of day. And Olivia, you'll get a copy of it too.
Great. Thank you
You're
very
certainly
much.
welcome to take it anything you want. You could even get the original source from Sugar if you'd like to.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate it, and have a good evening, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Olivia.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You guys, everyone, take care of yourself. God bless you and all your loved ones. And we will see you on the next class, next Monday Night Live class, and I'll see you in the one-on-ones. Please set up your one-on-ones. Okay. So, okay. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you for watching Monday Night Live. Consider subscribing. Agents, want to learn more? Schedule a call with Gary using the link in the description.